Hello everyone. In this video, I want to provide you with an overview of Module 1 as you get started in working into it. So I've got the As You Learn page for Module 1 pulled up on one side of the screen, and then I've just got the syllabus with the dates on the other side of the screen, so you can kind of look at both those as we go. So if you look at Module 1 on As You Learn, there's the Module 1 overview video, which is what you're watching now, so hopefully you were able, obviously, to find that. I encourage you to take a look at the goals and objectives for the module as well. And if we move into the lecture materials, so if you click on the lecture materials, what it will do is it'll take you to Google Drive. And remember that it'll take you to Google Drive if you are logged in through your AppState Gmail account. So make sure that you are logged in that way as opposed to your personal Gmail account if you have one. And so what you'll see is you will see the materials for Chapters 2 and Chapter 5 right here. Which is also included in with the other PowerPoints for the course. So that's how you access that material. You'll also see in here you've got folders for the upcoming assignments to help you out with some of the directions there as well. The next tab here on Module 1 is the Student Reporter presentations. And so what you will do at this point is once you are assigned a group and you've got your presentation together and you're ready to submit that, you'll add a discussion topic here, and just one of you will need to post your video or the link to your video in this forum. And then if you have questions for other students, you will reply to their videos there. So just go in, you'll add one person for each group can add the video. Do include everybody's name in that post so we know whose group it is, but that's where you'll post it. If you look over here on the right-hand side, you'll notice that in Module 1, that will include posts from the groups that are Chapter 3, Chapter 4, Chapter 6, and Chapter 7. So if you get assigned to one of those groups, you will need to post your student reporter here. That assignment is due by February the 21st at 3 p.m. So you will need to have it posted by February the 21st at 3 p.m. Going back here, the student reporter information and directions. And so if we click on that, again, it'll take us to a link in Google Drive, and you can see the student reporter assignment here. So I will go over this a little bit in more detail in another video, but I wanted to go ahead and show you where those directions are for the student reporter assignment. The chapter groups and chapter assignments. So again, what you will see when this is up in the second week of the semester is you will see the assignments. So what student is in what groups with other students. So I'll have a list of names posted for Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 and Chapter 6 and Chapter 7. So you can go in and see those in this document. The thing to keep in mind is if you're watching this and this is in the first week of the semester, then you can go and request or make a preference if there's a particular chapter you would like to do for your student reporter assignment. It's totally optional, so if there's not a preference, then you don't have to fill that out. But if you do have a preference, go ahead and fill this out. And like I said, in the second week of the semester, you will see that populated with names at that point in time, and you guys can start working on that. Okay, the next thing down here is the student reporter grading sheet. And again, I'll go over this a little bit further, but with the student reporting grading sheet, what you'll do is you will be grading everybody else's student reporter assignment. So the students that are not in the Chapter 3 group, everybody else will watch that Chapter 3, and then you will come in and provide that group with feedback. Your feedback will be both for the group as a whole, as a collective unit, and then you will also do individually, you will grade each other. So you will grade everybody in Group 3 both individually as well as a whole. So I hope that makes sense, and like I said, I will explain that a little bit further as we go. The other thing is, in this next one is the group self-evaluation. So this says complete only for the chapter your team presented. So if you're in Chapter 3 and you've done your student reporter, you're gonna come into this link, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna grade the contribution of your team members. And so you'll go in here, you'll click on group reporter presentation, you're gonna list group member 1, and then you're going to give them a percentage, group 2 percentage. You can also provide comments as to what their contribution was or was not. And so what you want to do is, if you read the instructions, is it said to make sure that you list everybody's name in there, including yourself, and then you will give everybody a certain percentage. So for example, if you had 4 people in a group and you thought everybody equally distributed the work, then you would give everybody a 25%. So 25 and 25 and 25 and 25 would be a total of 100%. If you don't, you could adjust those scores. So maybe it's a 70, 10, 10, and 10. But the total percentage needs to be out of 100. Include yourself in that grade, and then list as a contribution for everybody else. If you are not doing this, so if you're in one of Module 2 chapter, not Module 1s, you will not do anything with that group self-evaluation until Module 2. And then the last thing is you will go to Exam 1, and we'll click on Exam 1, and you will see both on the syllabus and on As You Learn that the Exam 1 is due by February the 28th at 3 p.m. Note that you do have 2 hours to complete it, and you do have 1 attempt. The exam is multiple choice and true-false, so just set aside some time, because when you start your 2-hour window, it will start. So once you go into it, your 2-hour window is started. You can't go back and forth or in and out of the exam and that stop the time. So as we look at this, the lecture materials, activities are due by February the 7th at 3 p.m. If you go over here, you will see the Module 1 activities. Okay, so these are the 3 activities that are due for Module 1. We'll click on the introductory module, and you can read the directions and then kind of follow my prompt in my introductory video. What you will notice for these videos, or for these discussion posts, is that your initial post is worth 4 points, and then a response post is worth 3 points, and you're required to do 2 response posts. So you would get a total of 10 points for this submission. So 4 points, 3 points, and 3 points for a total of 10 if you complete all of those. Okay, so you will just reply and you will post your video, and then as other students post their videos, you can reply to those. The next one is the dream job, and what you will notice here, other things. So again, this will be a 4 points for the initial post, and then 3 points for response post. And this would be a video post with video responses. Okay, so make sure that you read both, how we're responding. Some of the modules will be done typed, and some of the modules will be done in video. For example, if we go to the system approach video, you can see here that the initial post is worth 10 points, and that you're not required to do any response post, and that is a typed post. Okay, so make sure you check that out when you look at each of those modules. Okay, so make sure that you complete all of the Module 1 activities by February the 7th at 3 p.m., and then you have a week to do activity responses. So all your responses are due by February the 14th at 3 p.m. So you've got a week in between. So everybody in the class will post their videos or their activities by February the 7th, and then the responses by February the 14th. I do encourage you to go ahead and start working on some of these early in the module, and don't get behind and wait to the very end to start making posts. Chapter reading for Module 1, so chapters 2 through 7 you should cover. The student evaluations that I went over at this link here, you'll do those, and those are due by February the 28th, as well as the final exam. So you can see you've got a pretty full Module 1. I would encourage you to start working ahead through these. The exam will cover everything that's presented in the student reporter assignments, as well as your reading for the chapter. So make sure you take the time to do that. Module 2, which I'll have an overview video for as well, is similar to Module 1, but what I would encourage you to do is to go ahead and be working on your student reporter assignments for these chapters 8 through 13. Don't let that, you can see that's due on March the 14th, so go ahead and start working on that ahead of time. Your manager leader interview presentation, I also encourage you to work on that ahead of time as well. Those are due on March the 28th. So even though you're only in Module 1 at the beginning of the semester, I do encourage you to go ahead and be working on some of those assignments that are due later in the semester. If you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me. Thanks a lot.